Hello. This is a small movie about the environment. We have fundamental problems with the environment. Pollution, but probably even harder, the climate change. How comes this climate change? Well, there is a bit of discussion about scientifics, whether this is now really due to CO2. Probably, but not sure. And I think anyway, if we're only gonna focus on CO2, we won't get there. I'm a physicist. If you burn a fire in your house, in the winter your room will be heated up quickly, nice. Then you open the window, or just your house isn't very well isolated, the heat goes out. It doesn't disappear, it just goes out. And in a small area you quickly feel the change. In a big area you don't quickly feel the change. But there is a lot of those fires burning. And so in total that is gonna make a change. If you look carefully, you'll see in cities in winter the temperature is higher than on the open land. That's because there are so many fires burning in the city. And it's not only literally the fires. I'm a fire too. I'm heating myself up to on average something like 36 degrees. The cow somewhere in a landscape, all warm-blooded animals, they do that. They're all fires. Our car is a fire and so forth. So it's clear we would need to do something about those fires. A typical approach is, of course, let's isolate our houses as much as we can. But if I think of how we live definitely in Belgium, people like to live in their own house. If we are poor, it's in a row house in the city. If we're rich, we have our own villa. That's a lot of surface on the outside. Why don't we live vertically in high apartment blocks? They don't have to be small, and you can isolate against the sound so you don't hear the neighbors from upstairs walk. It's possible to do that. Imagine we built very high apartment blocks, like 100 floors. In there, huge apartments, 100 square meters per person. How many square meters do you then take to live? Well, compare that to how you live now. One of the things we could do is to reduce the damage we do, is to do things in nature that are gonna eat the heat from the nature, like trees, forests. So if we would live much more efficiently surface-wise, we may be able to have much more forest, which is gonna reduce a bit the temperature. The same is valid about what we eat. We eat too much meat, red meat. To grow a cow or a pork or something, you need, on one hand, it's a fire, we don't want fires, and two, you need a lot of grass and maybe mice, other, if I look environmentally, low value stuff compared to forest. So if we'd eat more vegetables, we could again have much more forest and so do something against the climate change. But this needs, of course, courage from our politicians to do that. We also need to think about how we make electricity. Do we think burning gas is the good solution? We have, of course, a problem. Imagine it's night and there is no wind. Then our windmills won't produce electricity, our solar panels completely forget it. No electricity then, so we need something. I'm not sure burning gas is a solution though, because we don't really know what it all gives, and we have definitely a fire there. Now we could go for nuclear centrals. Also they make pollution and they're also fires, but at least no CO2 or other things. The only risk we have is like Chernobyl. But as such the pollution is much better under control there. But we should also think of storing electricity. Now in Belgium, quite quickly I had put solar panels on my roof. In those days, my electric counter would turn back when there was more electricity produced than consumed in my house. Typically during the day I was away working somewhere, so no electricity consumption or not much. So I put electricity on the net, and in the evening I come back and then I consume electricity, so then my counter goes forward. Now they changed that, so the Belgian government kind of screwed me. But the solution that they come with is you can put a battery in your house. But do we really think that putting a battery in each house is a solution? Don't forget that batteries are chemical dangerous. They are chemical rubbish, right? There's a lot of things in you don't want to leak in the environment. You want to have that under control. So I don't think putting such a dangerous thing in each house is the forward solution. I think we'd better do that much more centralized, and if we do that centralized, we may do other things than just batteries. Imagine you live in a mountainous country. Then you could pump up water when you produce too much electricity. And overnight, when you can't produce enough electricity, you let the water come down again and create your electricity that way. In Belgium that's hard because it's too flat. But we could also push air together and let that escape. So there's other ways to store electricity, but definitely not some things I'd want to do in my house. That's all. And so we need to really think about how we deal with the electricity. Also think of electric cars. Why do they have fixed battery? Because that means when my battery is low, I must be able to charge at that moment. Imagine they take out my battery and put a new one. That would allow us to charge the batteries of the cars at the moments that suit us during sunny days and or windy days, windy moments, not in the middle of a windless night when I need my electricity. But so we need green parties that really look at the environment and not try to be more socialist than the socialists. But I'll make a movie about them another time.
Bye.